Good afternoon.
Hello.
Or evening, wherever it is, wherever you may be. Good morrow. This is episode 41 of
It is.
BB True Crime.
It is.
I'm Becky.
And I'm Beth.
And we are back once again with...
The death of Princess Diana.
Indeed.
Mm.
Indeed. An interesting one. Obviously, because it's very well known, and quite a lot of people know quite a lot about it. But I just wanted to do it because it's always an interesting... We've had a lot of ones where it's not so much a discussion, it's more just kind of like an information based. So I thought it might be nice to do an episode where we could have a bit of a chatteroo about it.
I mean, I know it's very,
Sensitive.
Yes, also I don't want to badmouth Charles too much since he is, the current king.
Honestly, you don't want to piss off the guy on the money.
I don't want to be just shot in the street randomly, so, but we are just going to say facts that... did happen. But I'm not going to stray too much into too much of, the conspiracies and things. And
Fair.
It's one people know quite a lot about. But I also tried to put more into it was kind of interesting learning a bit more about Diana herself.
I've always found her, from what I know, to be quite an interesting woman.
Yeah, she was, the first of many things, obviously, that we'll get into. But very down to earth, seems like. Don't get me wrong, still, very upper class.
As upper class goes, though, she was one of the more relatable ones.
Yes, and obviously then there's the details about the crime and, a bit of the aftermath. I didn't go too crazy in the aftermath just because,
She's dead.
It was a while ago, and a lot of the aftermath is just mostly speculation and that kind of thing.
I will forever remember when I was older, and I saw some, but the anniversary, I think, when I was 15 or 16, and they did a picture, and they were the first person to lay flowers at Buckingham Palace, and then they were 12 hours later, and it was just a sea of flowers, and I was just
yeah,
holy fucking shit.
The flowers ended up being 5 feet. And the piles of flowers got that, massive that the bottom ones had started to decay.
Yeah.
And because of how deep it was, 5 foot. That were flowers that were left by the people.
Understandable.
Well, yeah.
Jesus,
so
it's a lot of flowers.
You might already know a lot about this case, which is fair enough, especially if you're British watching this. But
honestly,
I know we've got a lot of European and so forth listeners. But obviously it's a very worldwide known case also. But
exactly.
Yeah, you might learn something new, you might not, and that's fine. I learned a few new things.
Well, if you learn something new, then I'm sure we will, because you know a lot.
I know the basics of the case, but, I think it's a very interesting case. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just get into it. So, Britain's beloved princess killed in a deadly car crash. What happened to the dear princess who remains in the hearts of the people in Britain to this day? Let's explore.
Let's go.
So, I wanted to get into, obviously, I split it into 2 parts, technically 3. Who was Princess Diana?
Yep.
How did she become the princess? The crash.
Mm-hmm.
And then a short bit of aftermath.
Okay.
So, her name was Diana Frances Spencer. She was born the 1st of July, 1961. She was obviously the first wife of Charles III, current King Charles. Obviously back then he was the Prince of Wales.
It was.
And obviously keep in mind this first bit is just a little tidbit of just basic. And then we get
Give us the biography.
Yeah. Obviously, she is the mother of Princes William and Harry. Though there are talk, I saw it in the news recently that William is getting prepared to
be king.
Yes, and apparently he's going to do a lot of changes and he's going to reign more how his mother probably would have reigned, rather than how the Queen.
It's supposed to be a big divergent from what Elizabeth and Charles are doing, which is interesting.
I've heard, it sounds like he'll do good.
And from what he's been talking about, because I've been reading up on on William as well, because I like him as, like, of the royal family. Like, I like what he does with, like, charities and stuff.
Yeah, he's very much down his mother's path.
And I do like that, like, and the way he's talking about how he's gonna reign, he's a lot more focused instead of, like, being the head of charities. He wants to be in the projects and, like, actually having a hand in stuff. And I have the utmost respect for that, because, like, we've had the same kind of ruling monarchy for the last, like, 400-500 years. And I feel like a lot of people's complaints with the monarchy is that it's the same old shit. Yeah, but they don't really do anything.
They're mostly just figureheads.
Yes, so I'm excited to see what a monarch who's a little bit more involved looks like, because you know, we're in modern times now.
I think William and Harry though would be quite similar. I think they've grown up to be like, obviously I know there's the whole drama.
Oh, there's so much drama with Harry.
Technically, is he technically still counted as royalty now? I'm not quite sure.
He has the title, but I don't think he's classed as royalty. I think Charles let him keep the prince title, but I don't think he's classed as a member of the royal family.
A similar thing happened with Diana, though, to be fair.
She kept her title, didn't she?
She kept one of her titles. She didn't keep her married title.
Yeah, she didn't keep Princess of Wales, but she was still a princess.
Yeah. But yeah, so...
Sidetracked there, but...
Yeah. So obviously, she was actually already born into British nobility.
Yeah, so she was.
As much as she was down to earth, she was very much noble.
She came from the same circles.
Yeah, she did. And she grew up very close to the royal family. She lived at Park House on the Sandringham estate.
I love the Sandringham estate. It's so fucking beautiful.
In 1981, she worked as a nursery teacher assistant. Is when she became engaged to Charles, who was the oldest son of, obviously, past Queen Elizabeth II. And their wedding took place in St. Paul's Cathedral in July 1981. So...
Bro, I hadn't even been born then.
Neither
by
had I.
Years.
My mum was only 1. So... Anyway.
I think my mum would have been 12. Because she was... 69. And my dad's 71, so he would have been 10.
Yeah, fair.
My parents are older than your mum.
Yeah, my mum usually is quite a young parent in consideration for most people, so yeah. Well, yeah, she had me like while she was 17, so barely. Anyway, yeah, so let's get actually into like the nitty-gritty of Diana. So, she was the 4th child out of 5 kids. I've not bothered naming the rest. Some of them she wasn't really super close with anyway. Her grandmothers had actually, every single one of her grandmothers, had all been ladies in waiting to the Queen.
Oh!
Every single one of them.
That's
which is
cool.
quite wild. Her parents, obviously were together for a while, and obviously they were both very, like, high up figures. Though they did end up divorcing when she was 7, as there were struggles with her mom being able to birth. Obviously she'd had 5 kids, but they were all, as far as I'm aware, don't quote me on this, most if not all of them were girls. Okay. And the dad wanted a boy. You wanted a hare.
A hare?
A hare. An heir.
An heir.
Right, shut up, guys.
We need a male hair, boys.
But the mum had been going like to the hospital to be like, you know, trying to look into why she wasn't able. But you know, sometimes you just you've had 5 children. But I understand they're like mostly all girls.
I'm pretty sure there is a genetic condition.
It doesn't mean that she won't ever be able to have a boy. It's just she just hasn't so far.
But I think there is a condition where your body rejects like the chromosomes of a certain type.
I mean, technically, all of us are women to begin with.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Men. You should remember that one.
Yeah, honestly.
You? Where do you think those magnificent nipples come from?
But no, literally, like it didn't say anywhere that like she had like anything. Yeah. But either way, due to the struggles of that,
it was like divorce.
Yeah, it was basically just like
How very Henry VIII of him.
I'll get with someone else who probably can have a man.
How very Henry VIII of him.
So their childhood house that she were leased from the Queen herself, which is just wild. And she...
That was often with nobility. When you got a title, you often got land that was owned by the monarchy.
But she called the queen Aunt Lilibet, which, if you also didn't know, Lilibet is going to be the name of, obviously, Harry and Meghan are having a baby.
Had one.
Well, yeah, but that's what their baby's
That's
called.
what, Lilibet. Yeah.
So, the royal family also would have holidays at their home, because obviously in the Sandringham estate they had their house, and then they had one next door.
Yeah.
And it's the one next door that the royal family would have their little holidays in.
Cute.
So obviously they would hang around together throughout her childhood very often. So she often played with Princes Andrew and Edward. Andrew, but...
Oi. And Edward,
Okay.
and I'm sorry, but Edward is clearly the better looking of all the princes.
I'm going to say, I have no idea who Prince Edward was. No idea. No idea.
Edward,
I haven't really seen much about him, so...
Edward's aged a lot better than Prince Charles has, and I think he's also the only monarch who hasn't had a divorce. He has a very healthy relationship with his wife and his kids. He's the most balanced of the princes, I think.
Well,
from what I know.
we probably, unless maybe we also want to be shot, let's not talk about Prince Andrew.
We'll leave Prince Andrew out of this. Prince Andrew is irrelevant.
I know that you all know what I'm referring to there.
We know that you know that we know what's going on there.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about that.
No.
Or about how the Queen paid for him to be able to do that.
What's the word? When you don't want to say it. In like when you're doing a true crime, but they aren't being convicted. What is the word you use?
Alleged.
Allegedly. Yes, let's put that out there. Because then you can't be done if you say everything's allegedly.
We allegedly suspect
dodgy business there.
that
But
dodginess has occurred.
You all know that. It's fine.
To be fair, I'm pretty sure he got convicted.
I don't think he did, because, the big bad man...
That's true.
He died in prison under weird circumstances, so his list technically didn't really come out properly. Anyway, moving on. Diana. La, la, la. Don't want to get shot. Alleged.
Alleged.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. So yeah, her mum remarried.
Okay.
First, and
as she should.
Yeah, I mean they both did end up remarrying, but her mum was the first one too, and Diana went to live with them in their London flat.
Nice. Until
their dad, who had also then gotten with someone, won custody. So she went to live with her dad.
Sucks.
He married a woman called Rain.
Rain?
Who was the Countess of Dartmouth.
Okay. Dartmouth is nice.
They did not get on.
Oh. Really
at all.
Oh.
I don't know if it was a mutual thing, but Diana really didn't get on with this person. And she described her as being a bit of a bully, and actually pushed her down the stairs one time.
The Countess?
Diana pushed the Countess of Dartmouth down the stairs.
Wow!
Yeah.
Yes, Diana!
I don't know what she did to deserve that.
It wasn't
accident. I was reading it and I was like,
Beth.
Oh, alright. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Diana allegedly pushed the Countess of Dartmouth down the stairs.
Though, just fast forwarding to the future, before Diana's death, she'd actually developed a much better relationship with her stepmom.
Okay.
And it was actually her mum that she hadn't spoken to in over 4 months. So.
Oh! Well, I imagine if you were married to the future King of England and then you got a divorce, your mum might be a bit pissed off with you.
Yeah, the mum just didn't seem to approve much of Diana and her life. Specifically after the divorce as well, so... But yeah.
To be fair, Diana was an icon after the divorce.
Yeah, well, yeah. She was always an icon.
You've seen everybody's seen the revenge dress.
Everyone's seen the iconic pictures and outfits generally. She was a very pretty, stylish woman.
Oh my god.
So yeah, like I said, they didn't get on, and the stairs incident happened for some reason. I don't know why. It just did. So Diana also said, when talking about her childhood, that it was quite unhappy, and it wasn't very fulfilling. But again, it's like, I understand that someone can say that their childhood was unhappy, but I also think that there needs to be a point where you recognise that you had a lot more than a lot of people do in the country.
Yeah, like you're never But I feel like Diana was one of the people of the royal family who was very aware of what she had.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was raising, like, William and Harry, she was very kind of... There was a lot, I feel like, when dealing with, like, the media and the public and stuff, there was a big emphasis on making the boys aware when growing up that they, materialistically, had a lot more than a lot of kids, and emotionally, because they had a very big family as well.
Yeah, but I think they've grown up quite well.
Oh,
even
yeah,
with
for
all
sure.
like the drama they've
I think,
had over
personally,
the
I think
years.
William is my favourite.
I think he'll be a good king.
I think he will.
I
I also quite like Kate.
Kate seems quite chill.
I like Kate because she's Diana enough that she's got a backbone, but she's got enough common sense not to make waves where waves are not necessary.
Yeah, I think she's quite down to earth in a Diana kind of similar way, but she's also very much aware that she is royalty.
Yeah.
And can act accordingly.
Which is ironic, considering that it was Diana that came from the nobility and and Kate that came from the common.
I wouldn't say the common, she was still very well off. Like, she was attending the same expensive schools that William was. They're very well off. So
Nowhere near where Diana was in social standing, though.
I know, but the thing is with Diana, she didn't get given the money. Yeah, she got to grow up in these houses and things, but she didn't have the money. She worked minimum wage jobs, which is something someone in royalty has never done.
That's fair.
But obviously we'll get into that. So, so at first in her early life, when her family was still together, parents were still together, she was obviously homeschooled for a while, and later on attended all-girls boarding school. She wasn't great academically. She actually failed her O-levels twice.
Bro, I relate.
It says
exams
that
are hard, bro.
In school and her earlier years, she was shy, but she played piano. She played piano well. She also was quite good at swimming, diving, ballet, and tap dancing.
Okay, she was very much kind of artsy then.
Yeah, she was definitely more artsy than academic.
Fair enough.
So, yeah. So, after she'd been to school and, like, done her O-levels and stuff, she moved back to London. And started working various low-wage, minimum-wage jobs.
Okay.
And she did various ones, like she was a nursery assistant, I'm trying to think what else. I think she was a babysitter at one point.
Okay.
Her mum did buy her a flat when she was 18, but she was never in these kind of places by herself. She always got flatmates and stuff to help with costs and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
So like I said, like she didn't accept money.
Yeah.
So her and Charles met when she was 16. Just taking it back a couple of years. I said that she was 18 when she got a flat. So they met when she was 16. He was 29.
Yeah, he was old.
Yeah, I know, but like that's still just. I mean, my mum and my stepdad have had a 12-year age difference.
Yeah.
But I know for some people it probably can work out, but I think that's a pretty big age gap.
But it's why all the papers always used to make jokes about her and Edward, because her and Edward are far closer in age. I think there's only like 3 or 4 years between her and Edward.
I know, but
and Edward is like a mirror image of Charles, so everybody was like, "Oh, she's with the wrong brother.
Yeah.
She's with the wrong brother. She should be with Edward."
The other wild thing is that when they met when she was 16, obviously, I think it was at some kind of party, but he was like, "Oh yeah, I was immediately interested." He was dating her older sister.
Yeah.
When they met, so it's like, all right, cool. Still a bit. I still don't like the 16 and 29. You can't convince me that that's a normal little thing. But all right, sure. If it was anyone else, and not royalty,
that would have been a problem.
People would have been saying stuff. I mean, I'm sure there probably was, but I don't know. I feel like when it's royalty, they get a free pass.
I was going to say, you gotta remember,
what you want.
This is the British monarchy. This is one of the most powerful monarchies in the world historically. Like,
yeah, but it's like I learned the other day. that marrying your first cousin in the UK is still legal.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
Why?
But that's why everybody jokes.
That's cursed.
But that's why...
I thought I read something like a couple of years ago saying that they were making it illegal.
No.
And then I was like...
No.
I looked it up the other day and I was like, how is it still legal?
It is legal, yeah.
What?
It's considered...
It's so bad health-wise, genetic-wise. Yeah. It's just creepy as fuck. No. Fix that.
Honestly.
Right?
Honestly.
Sort that
But
shit
that's
out.
why everybody jokes about Norfolk being inbred.
Fucking Alabama. Fucking Alabama.
No, but everybody... Honey.
Sorry if anyone's from Alabama, but you know what I mean.
Everybody jokes that Norfolk is inbred. Do you know where Sandringham is? Norfolk.
No, I don't know the geography. I just assumed Sandringham was in fucking London.
So, you know where we buried my mum's ashes?
No, I wasn't there, but...
What? The area. It's near there. Because we used to go to Holcombe Beach. If anybody knows where, Wells next to sea in Sandringham area. Beautiful, beautiful coastal area, by the way. Incredible crab. Can see why the royal family go there. Understandable, really. But they've got a beautiful estate. And during the summer, you can picnic on the estate. So when we went camping, my mum and my dad and I, we used to go and have a little picnic on the Sandringham estate.
You've never said anything more middle class to me than that in my life. Like, I think that has to be up there. I really do. Definitely in your top 3.
So what we're saying is you're Diana and I'm Kate.
I ain't up there enough to be Diana. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Oh, okay. But still, but everybody says, it's normal for Norfolk in the idea of inbreeding and fucking your cousins.
It's just weird. It's just
normal.
weird.
But that's why we always make jokes about Dad, because Dad's from Norfolk. So I always make jokes with Dad about inbreeding and stuff like that with his family. And he gets really butthurt about it, but he admits it himself that Norfolk is a strange locale.
Yeah, no, it's just, no. I was so certain that was illegal in the UK, and I was like shook to my core.
No, everybody in the UK, you can fuck your cousin and no one will have a go with you.
BB True Crime disapproves.
No, B disapproves.
Why do you approve?
Because it's funny.
Do you want fucked up children? Is that what you want?
I don't want any children. Wear protection if you're going to fuck your cousin. Fuck your cousin if you want.
Oh, no. Okay.
Just wear protection. Don't bring a child into that.
True crime breaks up. Alright, this is it.
This is it. All it took was an episode on Diana. We were like, nah, fam.
Nah, that's it. We're done. No more episodes. Right, anyway.
Sorry, boys.
So, back to Diana.
Back to Diana.
That was my fault we got into the cousin thing.
You did. That was entirely your fault.
So,
it's entirely your fault.
Obviously, the relationship ended up progressing. So I don't know at what point he dumped her sister. But it doesn't sound like her and his siblings were very close anyway.
Yeah. Honestly.
But anyway, it's hard. Yeah, like I said, I don't know when the sister was dumped at what point, or if it was like straight away after this party. But their relationship progressed when they went sailing for the weekend.
Nice. Do you like sailing? It's good fun. Very windy though.
Also very middle class.
For God's sake.
Yes.
Here we go again.
And then later on, she was invited to the castle to meet his family.
Yeah, she went shooting with his father.
He proposed later that same year, the 6th of Feb. And that was at Windsor Castle. She accepted, but they did keep it a secret for nearly 3 weeks before, like, telling the public.
Understandable.
She does say that her life became very lonely when she officially, after that, became part of the royal family.
It was very different, aren't they? They're very segregated, and if you're not close to the people you're segregated with...
Yeah, but I also think it's because of how, in quotation marks, common she could be, and how much she was a bit of a rule breaker in terms of what she wore and, you know...
How she acted,
yeah,
and how she behaved,
It was seen as like a bit of a side-eye moment. Yes, very rebellious. But yeah, like I said earlier, she was the first royal bride, even to this day, to have ever had paying jobs before engagement.
Nice.
Specifically, minimum wage paid jobs.
Nice.
So, she became a princess officially at 20, and had what Britain calls the fairy tale wedding.
So, fun fact, at this point, at the age of 20, Charles was 33. Just a little fun fact for everybody out there.
Yep. The wedding, obviously, was an insane, massive event.
Oh, yeah.
Worldwide, very famous, very just insane,
Fun
memorable.
fact, Camilla wore white to the wedding.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to state right now, I don't know what the second B thinks, but my B, me, I am not a Camilla fan.
No, I
don't want to get shot for saying that, because I know she's the consort. Is she queen?
She's queen consort. No, she's not queen.
No, I know she's not queen.
She's queen consort.
Yeah, I know consort was a part of that.
Yeah.
Shit, my queen.
But Princess Anne famously said, "You're not my queen. You're the consort."
Yeah, literally. Like, I'm sorry.
What a slap down.
BB True Crime. Sorry, we're not on the side of Camilla. No. Also, I just want to point out any, like, famous things that happen in, like, events between Camilla, Diana, and Charles that happen in, like, things like The Crown.
Honestly, yeah.
I haven't put any of that kind of shit in here.
No.
So we're just sticking to the basics and the facts and stuff. I'm not going to go into their messy relationship.
I don't want to get into him and Camilla's relationship. I don't want to get into that.
No, because this ain't about them. This is about Diana. So, but
and I feel like so often when people talk about Diana, the only thing they ever talk about is this fucking messy, like, triangle love-hate they had going on. And I'm just like, there's so much more to Diana than she was head over heels in love with Charles and Charles was fucking Camilla, and I'm just like, brother, please.
I don't think he was the love of her life.
No.
No, easily not.
She loved him, for sure.
I'm sure probably Camilla is probably Charles's. Because obviously she was his former girlfriend before they married anyway.
But the Queen disapproved of Camilla.
Everyone disapproves of Camilla.
But from the get-go, like, that's why they had to break up, because the Queen basically turned around and was like, you can't marry this woman. Find somebody else.
Well,
and so he had to go and find somebody else, and all it caused was absolute fucking misery for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry that there's, like, I've never seen The Crown, but I've seen the odd scene, the fight scene between Diana and Charles about Camilla. Iconic.
I've seen the first few seasons.
Was they on a boat?
It was on a boat,
It was on a boat.
When she's in the swimsuit.
I don't know, I ain't seen it. But there's like a big speech that happens and they're arguing. Yeah, iconic.
But I started watching it. I watched the first 2 seasons. I think the first season is my favourite, purely because it's less kind of drama. Are they cheating? Oh my god, it's kind of more of just like a dramatisation of her early reign. And I feel like it's a bit more emotional than it is drama. I do prefer it.
I do have to say, though, that as a British person, I don't really care much about the royal family. But actually, I think if you were to ask younger people versus older people about their thoughts on the royal family, I think that's now a common thing. Yeah. We don't really care much anymore, younger people.
I have a passing interest, only because...
I have an interest in Diana.
I'm different. I have an interest in William and George. Because, interesting fact, George is the most purely English monarch we will have in over 500 years. Because Kate is actually English, whereas most nobility come from the European families, including our monarchy line, which comes from Germany, France, Austria, all that, because of Victoria. He is the most English monarch we have had in the last 500 years, George will be. Obviously, we've already discussed William is already departing massively from what he's done previously with, like, Charles and Elizabeth and George before him. So I'm more interested in monarchy to see where it's going than where it's been.
Yeah, but like, if you're going to be like, oh, do you want to buy this plate with the royal family on? No, I do
God,
not.
no.
I do not. I don't.
I never watch any of the royal occasions. I never watched Trooping of the Colour, nothing like that. Obviously, I know what they are, but that's only because of my cadet past. Like, I had to do, like, parades
My
and
nana
stuff.
used to always put on the Queen's speech.
The Queen's speech at Christmas.
But best believe I always made myself busy during that time.
Yeah.
I did not
My
care to watch it.
my grandmother too. I'm pretty sure my grandmother actually cried when she heard about Elizabeth II, God rest her.
I mean, it was a bit sad. But I don't know. I grew up very conflict, so I was like, oh, I'd read a lot of like conspiracy theories, and I was like, oh, does she have something to do with Diana? You know, did they have a feud? But then it's like, she was kind of cute, wasn't she? She was little. She was a little old lady. I can't be angry at her.
Do you know how ruthless that woman was?
I mean, to be fair, my nana's also a little old lady, and there's a lot of issues there.
So is mine, and you know how mine is. Little old ladies.
She always had her hats matching her outfits. I don't...
Okay, well that was just customary for nobility.
Yeah, I know, but it was cute.
Okay, alright. Either way, I do feel like there is definitely a divide. I feel like it's around maybe like 50.
I don't know, I feel like the younger people now were a lot more liberal than older people were, so I think younger people can see the divide
a little bit easier.
Yeah, in terms of us and the royal family. Yeah. Because it's just like, you can be like, oh, the country's struggling. It's like, well, yeah, we are, but you're not.
Fun fact.
So,
Princess Charlotte is worth $4 billion. £4 billion.
That's still a lot.
I know, that's what I'm saying. She is the richest child in, like... Exactly,
so it's just, like, I think the younger people, as well as, like, the fact that, like, you know, we don't really, like, a lot of young people don't really care so much as, like, we don't buy, like, the plates and
coins
shit. With,
and all the commemorative stuff.
We don't give a shit of, like, things like that, you know, the speeches. We don't really care. It's mostly old people watching it. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know,
But maybe that's something that William and George can change.
I don't know, I don't think it needs to change, to be fair, because at the end of the day, like, I'm not impacting their life. They're not really impacting mine, like...
I know, but I'd still like to see a bit more of, like, involvement.
I'm just saying, if the king, because I don't know if you've heard, also, tangent, I don't know if you've heard, the current Prime Minister is saying that he's preparing us to go for World War III. Just so you know, I hope you're aware of that.
With who?
I'm going to assume Russia. So yeah, no, he is like, he's been, like, within the past few weeks, he's done a lot of things where he's saying that we're going to war. I've already told Matt that I'll break his leg if he needs me to, because I ain't gonna let him go to war. I'm also very anti-war, generally, so... also, if they're gonna nuke us, they're gonna nuke us, so, like, but I ain't going into a war.
But no, it's fine, because Russia can't attack us. Do you know why? Because they don't have potatoes.
Yeah, you're right, I did see that. Yeah, it's alright, they have nukes, but they don't have potatoes.
No.
They have been asking for potatoes.
But you know what the thing is now? They're withholding the nukes from other people until they get potatoes.
You could just sell one of the nukes and you get a shit
buy
ton
the
of potatoes. You know what I mean? Like, but alright.
It's people that they have trade deals with. I'm not giving them the potatoes.
Because we also don't want to get nuked. You know what I mean? But it might be, the reason we might be going to war, maybe, is because we ain't giving Russia fucking potatoes. I don't know.
Bro, they haven't asked us.
Oh, it don't matter, is it? We're apparently going to war. I don't know. But I ain't going to war. But at the end of the day, what I was trying to say is that the royal family was like to the UK people, oh, go to war for your country.
For God and country.
The young people, millennials and Gen Z, we ain't going to war. No. Right? The old people might be up for it, right? We ain't up for it.
No.
We've got fucking minimum wage jobs. We ain't going for it.
It depends what incentives are there. Depends what incentives are there.
I genuinely believe most young people will not fight for their country in this country anymore.
I wanted to.
But by then, I ain't joining you for that.
I wouldn't want you to. But before I got diagnosed with grand mal epilepsy, I was on the career training program for the RAF. Like, I wanted to be in the RAF.
But I also, with how the UK currently is, I don't think there's good enough reason for you to fight for this country that are doing shit all for you.
It's not about the country, though.
Yeah, but it's about you being in the country, you being a member of the country. Why would you fight for a country and be like, oh, I'm proud of my country, when they're not doing fuck all for you?
It's not the country, it's the people.
Yeah, and the people that are also suffering because the country isn't doing fuck all for us at the minute.
Yeah, but if there's no country, how's it going to get better?
Yeah, but you might go to war and we get fucking nuked anyway.
At least I get paid more.
So what would that help? What would that help?
It's irrelevant now because I've got epilepsy.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't you rather? Yeah, but if it came to World War III, I'm going to assume they're just going to let in as many people as possible.
I'm definitely not on the list because I'm medication dependent.
I'm too mentally fucked, so I don't think I'll be on the list.
No, you're medication dependent because of your thyroid, so you can't.
No, but also mental health. If you've got specific, like severe ones, you can't go on it. So I know for my mental health, I can't. Yeah.
But the
Matt,
first.
Could. So that's why I'm going to break his leg. And now I was like, listen.
No, you need to give him a lifelong condition. Because otherwise we'll just wait for his leg
Exactly. And then I'll snap his other leg and it's fine. He'll just permanently have broken legs. Or his arm. I don't know. We can switch it up. He's got 4 limbs.
Look into my eyes. Lifelong condition.
Yeah, but
you need this man to be on meds.
Yeah, but he can't go in the army with a fucking broken limb. So that's why every time it heals, I'll snap the other one. It's fine. And then I said to him, I was like, right, listen, then you get your mates to come over. We'll snap each one of their limbs as well, and then none of us can go.
This is descended to an irrational conversation now.
Okay, right, yeah, right. Anyway, we're just moving on. Okay, so, right. Where the fuck do we get up? Right, fairy tale wedding.
As you can see, the idea of going to war is something that Beth and I disagree on.
I ain't fighting in your shit war, right? Fuck off. I ain't fighting in no one's war. And neither is my boyfriend, you're not having him. So...
Me though, I can die. I can go die, you're fine.
No, that's just your choice. But I ain't joining you in that little adventure, no thanks. No. So, their wedding had a TV audience of 750 million.
Mm-hmm.
And 600,000 people lined the streets. Obviously, she wore a very famous dress, that was worth over 40 grand today. Could never be me. So later the same year of the wedding, she got pregnant with William, but she was quite depressed and obviously lonely in the family, so she actually threw herself downstairs while pregnant with William.
To kill herself or the child?
Both.
Oh, okay.
And she obviously had like bruises and stuff, but luckily the baby was fine.
And herself.
She said she was feeling very inadequate in her life and her marriage. So that's why she threw herself downstairs.
I mean, to be fair, in a place like that with people like that, inadequacy is understandable. Or at least feelings of.
So the next year, William was born on the 21st of June, 1982. She did have postpartum depression after she had William. Harry was then born 15th September 1984. Apparently, Charles and her marriage was the best that ever had been during the time that they just had the children. But when Harry was born, Charles was quite annoyed because he wanted a girl.
He did. Famously was very irritated about this ginger child he had.
She can't control that, so it's like it's almost like a copy of what her and her parents went through.
Oh my god, it is.
Yeah,
except it's the other way around.
Way, yeah, pretty wild.
The woman provides only girls, divorce. The woman provides only boys, divorce.
Yeah, wild. But yeah, she was very it was very clear to see that she was a fantastic mum. She did everything for them, but she also wanted them to have more common things as well. But even she'd walk them to school. She decided everything for them. She picked the names. She picked where they were going to go to school. Yep. She made sure to walk them to school. She had them a nanny sometimes, but she picked the nanny herself and still made sure that she was very much active parenting. A
lot of respect for her as a parent, to be fair.
She'd take them with her on tours and stuff.
Yeah.
She was a great mum. She said that about her kids, she said about Harry was naughty like me. And William was her wise old man.
Yes.
So 5 years into their marriage, incompatibility starts showing and a bit of instability. Obviously, I'm not going to say when affairs officially started, but obviously there was.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
actually.
everybody forgets that Diana was also unfaithful, but...
Yeah,
I'm
only
pretty
one
sure-
time, though.
But Diana was unfaithful after.
After
Charles
Charles
was
was, yes,
unfaithful.
yes.
Which, I don't know whether it is for everybody, but I find that an important factor.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
Personally,
I think
because-
it was literally because the marriage had fell apart,
Yeah.
she was lonely, and
Yeah.
he had already been cheating, so...
That's the thing. So many people are like, oh, they both cheated, like, they're equally at fault. Respectfully, I don't feel that. Both cheating, yes, but I feel like the person who stepped out first
Yeah, no,
has the greater burden, personally.
I don't think anything's fixed when, if you're with someone, they cheat and you decide to cheat, to be
No.
like, ha. I don't think that fixes anything.
No.
I think it should just be ended.
Yeah,
But
same. It's the one
Fine.
thing I will never forgive either.
Also, yeah.
cheating.
Oh, yeah, no, I could also never be with
People
someone that
have turned
did
around
cheat.
and been like, oh, like, are you saying, like, you wouldn't take them back?
No, I wouldn't.
Exactly, I wouldn't.
No, they'd be gone instantly.
Yeah. Like, that's it.
And also, I'd never get with a cheater, like someone that
Same.
had done it previously, because
Same.
I'm sorry, but people might disagree. What's cheater? Always
Yep.
cheater.
Exactly. And I also won't be friends with a cheater. So I had a friend who did cheat with his girlfriend and is now in a long-term relationship with the girl he cheated on. But I stopped being friends with him. And he was
Yeah, I
like,
don't
why?
blame him.
And I'm like, because from a personal perspective, if I can't trust
You haven't got any morals.
to stay with the person that you say you're in love with, how am I supposed to trust you as a friend to be respectful of me and my boundaries and things I tell you? And if I can't trust you, then I can't be friends with you.
No, literally.
Because if I have to moderate everything that's coming out my mouth when I'm talking to you, then you are not my friend.
Yeah.
You're just standing there.
Yeah, no, I know.
So I've ended friendships because they've turned around and they've admitted to cheating, and I'm like, we're done. And they're
I
like,
mean,
what do you mean?
I think I only need to look at my biological dad.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
his years and years
Yeah.
and years still probably cheating to be like, that's understandable why you feel that way. So.
But like from my perspective, like I have grandparents that are entering their 60th year of marriage. I have my parents who had 25 years of marriage. I have my aunt and uncle who are also past 25 years of marriage, though they celebrated their 25 years privately. And my auntie Trina, who did divorce, but is still on very good terms with her ex-partner, and her current partner is also on good terms with her ex-partner. So it was all very kind of... There was a lot of healing going on afterwards, so it's very healthy. And the one uncle that I don't talk to, he's fucked his relation up, but that's fine because I don't care about him. So I've got a lot of healthy kind of relationships in my peripheral where I look at them and I'm like...
Yeah, I know, but on the opposite side, I've seen a lot of unhealthy ones.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
then it's like, I don't want that.
Which is incredible because
So-
you're in a healthy 1.5-year relationship and I'm
I
single.
am, yes, and it still terrifies me to this day. Every day. Constant fear.
You're working through it though. It's
Yeah.
good shot.
But yeah, so not only was like instability seen in the relationship 5 years after marriage, but the age difference started to become a lot more visible, even to the public.
Oh my god.
So in
Well, he looked like a middle-aged man and this woman was like 25.
yeah, mid-20s literally. So in 1986, Diana had an affair with, like I said, Charles had probably cheated by this point already.
Oh, 100%.
Also, I just want to point out, I didn't put anything in about this, but did you ever see them saucy letters that him and Camilla wrote to each other? And it was the most cringy,
Oh my
creepy
God.
things you've ever seen. Didn't someone say something about wanting to be their tampon or something?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
the fuck? What the fuck?
Up there like a tampon.
Yeah, right.
Nice and snug.
No. Right. Wanted to remind
Honestly,
everyone about that,
yeah.
so...
We didn't need reminding. That was better
It
off.
just came to me
That
right
was
now.
better off left in the back collecting dust, Beth.
So yes, she had an affair with her ex-riding instructor, James Hewitt, who I have to say,
Looks a lot like Harry.
he really does.
Yeah.
He really, really does. But I don't know if DNA tests have ever been done. But I won't be surprised if it was his dad, but rumouredly, apparently, they'd met 2 years after she'd had Harry.
Yes.
But
yes.
he really does.
He was
It's creepy how much he looks like
He was
him.
post-Harry. However, there are...
I'm gonna need to see proof.
He has a lot...
Proof.
He has a lot of... He looks a lot like relatives of Charles's. Of the monarchy. Siblings of monarchs.
I'm sorry, but if you put Harry and that guy next to each other...
For sure, but it's superfilious. There is a lot more...
I need to see the birth certificates. And the birth certificates ain't going to show it. I need DNA tests.
You won't.
Now.
So behave yourself.
Anyway, Charles had...
Harry hasn't seen that. You're not going to say that, are you?
Well, Harry's not technically part of the family at the minute anymore, is he? So it's a bit late for that.
Part of the shit, part of the crew.
Yeah.
Part of the shit, part of the crew.
Charles had resumed his affair with Camilla by this point, obviously. Creepy ass, cringy letters. So in 1997, their marriage issues were insanely obvious to the press.
Oh, honestly.
Charles had been having affairs with not just Camilla, but with other people as well. I wonder how she felt about that. Camilla, I mean.
Apparently he blamed it on his misery with not being able to see either women, because Camilla was basically put on lockdown for a few years. Like, she wasn't allowed anywhere near Charles. So I think he allegedly said that it was his misery of
boo-hoo
not being with Camilla or Diana, because Diana wouldn't let him anywhere near her anymore. So that's why he started having these flings, basically.
All excuses is what I
heard. Because honestly, who's going to say no to the future King of England?
Well, yeah,
that's the alarming thing.
But yeah, by this point, Diana was very suicidal.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
The Queen and Philip had brought Diana and Charles in for like little, almost like therapy sessions. They're trying to get them to sort their marriage out.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it was unsuccessful. It could not be remedied. But they did try. So in December 1992, they actually had separated, but it wasn't for a few more years that officially they got divorced.
Okay.
By this point, Diana was suffering pretty badly. She had depression, bulimia, and she also self-harmed. So they finally were forced. It wasn't like a decision thing. Obviously, they'd already separated. But the Queen actually told them that they needed to get divorced. And the Queen forced them to.
Nice.
In 1996.
The year I was born.
But the year before Diana died.
Oh no.
So it's not like she really got a lot of time.
She didn't.
Afterwards.
It was just after the divorce, wasn't it? They were still
Which is probably what leads people into conspiracy theories and that kind of shit. So
the timing is...
Yeah.
Suspicious.
So they both had custody over the kids, equal custody. She got what would be today 40 million. She was still allowed to live in a flat in Kensington
Palace.
Yeah. She had a lot of celebrity friends, including Michael Jackson,
Elton John,
George Michael.
Remember that story about Michael Jackson removing Dirty Diana from the set playlist?
She was
and her being like, "That's my favorite."
Yeah, I do like that story.
Iconic moment.
But his heart sank. It was like, oh shit.
But he put it back in. He put it back in for her.
Great song.
So he did at the end of the concert. He put it in as his last piece as a special request from his good friend Princess Diana, and so he sang "Dirty Diana" for hours. Like, fuck yes.
But not long after the breakup or divorce, she dated a British Pakistani heart surgeon called Hasnat Khan, who was called the love of her life. But they were only together for a few years. But she actually, through a lot of confusion, she actually ended the relationship. But it's like, from what I read, it didn't say why. If he was like the love of her life. When she did die, she was dating someone else who did also die in the crash.
Yes.
But we'll get into that at like literally any minute. She was also obviously, like everyone knows, massive into charity. And she did a shit ton of charity. Obviously, after she got divorced from Charles, she had to drop out as patron of a lot of them, but she still supported like hundreds.
Yeah.
It was all sorts, from AIDS issues to women's development to things in the armies.
She was big. She was a big advocate.
So her death.
Okay, here we go.
So, Diana was in Paris, she was with a film producer, Mohammed Al-Fayed, who was the guy she was
dating.
And they'd been on holiday together before they got into Paris.
Okay.
So, they were in Paris together, and they were at the Ritz. There's a man called Henry Paul, who was the head of the security of the Ritz. And he was hired to drive them in a black armoured Mercedes-Benz that they'd hidden to try and avoid the paparazzi that had already swarmed the hotel.
Jesus Christ.
Massive swarm of them. So Henry Paul, what's that his name? I just said it. Yeah, Henry Paul was the driver.
Okay.
Diana and Mohammed were in the back. And then also in the car was joined a guy called Trevor Rees-Jones, who was part of a protection team. He was in the passenger seat next to the driver. So this was the early hours of the 31st of August, 1997.
It was like 6 a.m, wasn't it?
No.
No?
They left the hotel at midnight.
Oh, okay.
No one wore seatbelts. Which is like,
So
if you're going to
dumb.
drive anywhere, even as a passenger, wear your seatbelt. Because I'm not saying she'd still be alive if she was wearing it, but maybe she might have been still alive.
Yeah. She for sure would have had a fucking better chance if she'd been wearing it.
Yeah, 1,000%. But it's the same for them all. So, the car drove normally. They were still pursued by paparazzi. But it drove normally until they got to an underpass. So, at 23 minutes past midnight, Henry Paul, lost control of the car. It struck a white Fiat and swerved, then crashed head-on into a column, and they were travelling 65 miles per hour.
What the fuck?
Which was twice
The
the
legal
speed limit
yeah.
in the underpass. So it didn't stop there. The car then spun and then hit the stone wall behind him as well, then it finally stopped.
So we've clipped, front, spin, back. So it's basically pancaked at this point.
Yeah, it was a bad crash. Obviously, the vehicle was smoking and everything, yeah. There was huge, massive damage to the front of the car, obviously. Witnesses said that there had been photographers on motorbikes that swarmed the car before the crash. And some people tried to say it was like the flash from the cameras that had like...
disorientated him.
That, like, the driver, yeah. When the crash happened, some paparazzi were trying to pull people out the car, trying to help the people in the car. Other people just took pictures. Classic.
Absolute rats, a lot of them.
The police arrived 10 minutes later, an ambulance arrived 5 minutes after that. One photographer who had been swarming the car got beaten up by witnesses. 5 other photographers that got arrested. So Rees-Jones, who was the protection team guy in the passenger seat, was one of the very few survivors.
He survived?
He had multiple facial injuries, a head contusion, but he was alive.
Damn.
And he did survive.
Damn.
Diana,
Why do I get the feeling he was the only one?
He was the only one.
He was the only one, yeah.
In the end, yeah, he was the only one. Diana was critically injured, but alive at first.
Okay.
And she was very disorientated, very in shock, and like just not like with it.
With it at all, yeah.
It mostly affected the right side of her body because in the back, both of the people, her and the Mohammed, had been sat sideways, and she'd been able to see like the paparazzi outside, like in the back of the window. Her ribs and arm was fractured. Her right collarbone was dislocated, and she had swelling and bruising on the brain. She kept saying things like, "Oh my god," and "leave me alone," when like people were trying to like grab at her and stuff.
Probably thinking it was the paparazzi.
Yeah.
In her disorientation, not realising they were trying to help.
She got sedated because she was so disorientated around 1 a.m. She went into a cardiac arrest. She got resuscitated. And and then was sent to hospital. Mohammed died at the scene. And Paul, the driver, was also dead at the scene.
So she was the only one who actually made it to a hospital.
Well, the protection
other
team
than
guy.
the protection team guy.
Yeah, he did. But yeah.
Damn.
The driver Paul, when he was like examined and stuff, he had an alcohol level over 4 times the limit, which is probably a big cause of why it happened. She went to cardiac arrest again in the hospital. Behavior. They tried all sorts to save her. They tried heart massage. Doctors worked tirelessly for hours, but unfortunately they couldn't bring her back. And it's because her heart had been moved to the other side in her chest, and one of the veins through the heart had
torn.
Yeah, completely torn off. She died at 4 a.m.
I knew it was around that, and maybe it was announced at 6 then, because something happened at 6 a.m.
Yeah, like
announced at 6.
How the fuck did I just do that? I just zoomed in, sorry. Anyway, so Charles and 2 of her sisters arrived immediately as soon as they heard in Paris, and thanked the doctors for like trying their best. The driver of the white Fiat that got crashed into was never found. Don't know how, but yeah, never to this day. Oh. Despite 5 photographers being arrested, they couldn't directly prove that they had a part to play in the crash, so none of them were ever charged.
Jesus Christ.
And the driver, Henry Paul, was completely blamed for the incident because he was drunk.
I mean, it certainly didn't fucking help matters, did it?
No, it did not.
But imagine being that driver of the white Fiat and getting away with it and sitting there knowing that...
Yeah, well, he might not have done it.
No,
but
for
they
sure.
swerved into him.
But imagine knowing that you were that person.
Yeah.
And being like, and knowing for your own fucking safety, you could never say anything about it.
I suppose.
Could you imagine? You'd get lynched, even if it wasn't your fault.
Yeah.
You'd get lynched purely.
Yeah, but it's because they hit when he'd swerved.
Yeah.
He'd gone into a 2-lane like carriageway thing in the underpass,
Yeah.
and that's why like he'd hit.
Yeah.
So technically, the white Fiat, I don't think did anything wrong.
No, absolutely not. But by virtue of being the car that first made contact, fault or not, there would still be people who blamed you.
Yeah,
especially considering he didn't come forward. People would be like, oh, he didn't come forward. Clearly he's guilty of something.
Yeah, I
No,
suppose.
not necessarily.
I just think it's wild that they've never been found. So afterwards, more than 1 million flowers were left at her house. In fact, they actually told the public to stop bringing flowers to the house because it was a threat. It was becoming a threat to public safety because there were so many.
Is this Buckingham House?
I'm not quite sure which house it was. It could have been Kensington. I'm not sure. A lot of because people were also bringing gifts and stuff. A lot of them got donated to charities.
Yeah, they used to just send somebody out to scour all the teddies and toys and stuff that got left behind.
The funeral happened in Westminster Abbey on the 6th of September that same year. 3 million mourners in London came to it. Elton John, who was one of her friends, performed Candle in the Wind, dedicated to her, which also then became a massive hit in the chart again for quite a long time. The funeral was watched in the UK by 31.5 million, and worldwide it had a worldwide estimated audience of 2.5 billion. I think it's one of the most watched televised royal events. Oh yeah, especially worldwide, easily.
It was incredible.
Diana was buried on a little island in the middle of a lake called the Oval, which is in Pleasant Garden in Althorpe. Don't know where that is, but I don't know why it gave me Merlin vibes. It's probably because it was just like
an island in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, that's like cute.
Dumbledore vibes too, because Dumbledore was also buried
Okay,
on an island.
Dumbledore, he like raised a kid to die. We ain't discussing that. We ain't, nah. Alright. Nah, I don't stand Dumbledore. So, quick little thing of aftermath, obviously, we're only focusing on Diana. So the Queen and the rest of the royal family were criticised quite heavily by a lot of people for their rigid adherence to protocol in terms of her death and her funeral and the aftermath.
Yeah.
And their efforts to protect the privacy of
The kids.
the kids. Yeah. And because it was interpreted by a lot of people as like a lack of compassion and stuff. But actually William and Harry both defend the Queen for that.
Yeah.
Harry said in 2017 that, in an interview, that the death of his mother caused severe depression and grief and PTSD.
Understandable. I mean, he was what?
He was 12.
12, I was going to say.
William was 15 when she died. Britain was silent after her death. You know, everything just, like, stopped.
Yeah.
For, like, as, like, a respect kind of thing. In America, they also did a lot of things for her as well. Like, matches happened and they'd have, like, baseball fields and that kind of thing that they'd cover in candles and make into altars. The people in Paris did a shrine at the crash site and would often go visit there. Suicide rates and self-harm rates increased after her death, especially with women who looked or identified a lot with Diana.
Which is also really sad, because I feel like that's the one thing that she would hope wouldn't happen with her death.
True, but car crash rates decreased by quite a bit.
Because everybody was like, oh my god, Diana.
Yeah.
No seatbelt, drink driving.
Yeah.
She is kind of the example, really, isn't she?
It's not, like, for definite proven that, like, she was the reason why those things decreased or increased, but a lot of things were, like, linked to it. Other people, however, so obviously there was, like, you know, everyone grieving and stuff over Diana, but a lot of people, like, in, like, media and stuff were trying to say it was, like, mass hysteria kind of thing, because at the end of the day, they were like, well, they didn't actually know her. You know, she was just, like, a figure to them. So there was a lot of people that weren't very sympathetic to the people that were grieving Diana, especially if it was just, like, a normal, everyday person, because they were, like, you know, like I said, like, you didn't know. But actually, William has also said a similar thing, because he's said before something like how people would come up to him that he didn't know, like, crying and stuff, and being like, oh, I'm so sorry about your mom, but it's like, and he would be kind of guarded about it, because he was always like, well, you didn't know my mom.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand both sides.
From a different perspective, having spoken to, like, my mum and my dad about it, they grieved quite a lot, because my grandparents, my mother's parents, they were strong monarchists. They were very kind of heavy monarch supporters. And my mum said that she grieved Diana's loss a lot, but it was less the loss of Diana and more
what she stood for.
No, more the loss of a mother to the kids.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
So
yeah.
she grieved, and she was one of the people who, you know, didn't go into work for a few days, didn't really leave the house for a few days. A lot of grief, but it wasn't primarily for Diana. She was grieving the loss that William and Harry had suffered, which I thought was an important distinction, because for that you can absolutely mourn, because you may not know somebody personally, but that doesn't mean that you don't mourn, you know, their
Someone
loss
else
from your
grieving.
life, or their loss from somebody else's life. You can grieve with empathy for someone else's loss rather than grieve for your loss.
Yeah, but also they'd been, like, the kids had been through a lot, because obviously literally only the year before they were already, and so it would have been, what, 14 and 11.
Yeah.
They were already having to witness their parents go through a divorce.
Yeah. And obviously all the fighting for the years
yeah,
before
and then
that was
seeing
overheard.
everything that the paparazzi would say about the mom and
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean,
yeah.
both William and Harry have been pretty vocal about how negatively the paparazzi like influenced Diana's life. Because it was fucking harassment. Some of the shit she went
Harry
through.
has said in a recent interview, especially because of what's happened with him and Meghan since, like, in more recent time, the fact that they're, like, not really part of the family anymore, that he does fear for his life because of what happened with his mum.
True.
Which is a bit like, because obviously there's a lot of conspiracy theories to do with the royal family and what happened to Diana and stuff, which I'm not going to get really into.
No. Interesting, though, that on that same trip, he declined the King's security escort.
Who?
Harry. Harry was offered a security escort and he declined it. Which is intriguing.
Yeah, but also they have also been getting rejected security when they've asked for it.
True, but when he's offered and then he rejects it?
I don't know. I'm not going to try and explain that.
Who knows? We only know what they tell us, and that's a very lopsided picture to judge on, isn't it?
Well, one of, like, the obviously most known conspiracy theories is that either the Queen had something to do with it, like, she said that it needed to happen, or...
divorce her and then we can get rid of her.
The British Secret Service were interrogated because they were in Paris when the crash happened, and they won't say why they were there, which is a little sus. But yeah, I'm not going to go into conspiracy theories more than that, because obviously that's not what we're here. But yeah, obviously she had an insane amount of memorials commissioned.
She was loved by the people.
Yeah, the people's princess. But yeah, that is Diana.
Not the queen of the country, but the queen of people's hearts.
It is. Yeah.
She was a wonderful woman.
Yeah. Yeah, sad one.
Honestly. That was a good one. That was like... It's really interesting to look at Diana as a person, because she's a very, real person. She's a very flawed person. And you don't see many celebrities who are open about, like, their poor mental health and self-harming and postpartum depression.
Especially not royalty.
Yeah, especially not people in, like, monarchies and stuff. And I feel like not all of it obviously, but some of her openness in regards to those struggles have passed on to her sons.
Yeah.
Which I think can only give benefit, really.
Well, they seem both, like, pretty good people, so...
Down to earth as well, which is good.
Yeah.
So, here's hoping they keep up with some of their mum's good habits.
Yeah.
She had bad habits too, but...
Well, yeah, we all do.
Keep up with the good ones.
But yeah, so that was the death of Princess Diana.
What a woman.
Yeah. Hope we learned something new there.
Honestly.
I did when I was writing it. Still can't believe she pushed her stepmom down the stairs.
That was incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty ballsy.
That was incredible.
Wow. Love to know why.
Can't believe she threw herself down the stairs.
Yeah,
what is it with this woman on the stairs?
I did wonder that while I was writing that,
this
to be
woman
fair.
on stairs.
I was like, damn, there's a lot of stairs mentioned in this. I say a lot, twice. But still, yeah, more than me.
Once is an incident, twice is a pattern.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Anyway, we've got one more episode to record today.
Yes, next episode will be the Orlando Pulse Club shooting.
Very different from this one.
yeah, but also, I don't think it'll be a massively huge episode unless we get off topic again.
To be fair, I mean, this one's been, over an hour?
Yeah, but I think that's because we were chatting shit.
It was so much shit. But it's the monarchy, like, but it's always going to spark conversations, isn't it?
But it's also just us. We just talk shit. And you know what? The people
you seem to love us for it, so yeah, exactly. Some of our shit's entertaining.
So yeah, we will leave you for today, but we will be back in the next episode, and you'll get episode 40 published probably within the next week or week and a half.
Nice.
Because obviously I only recently published the... God, what was it? What was it?
You've got the computer in front of
you.
The
DC Sniper.
The DC Sniper with the car.
Was the last one we did, yes.
That one shook me, that did.
Yeah, so we have some more coming up.
Indeed, indeed.
And yeah, we'll see you when we see you.
Peace out. Please, for the love of God,
Wear a
don't drive
seatbelt.
drunk. Wear a seatbelt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be sensible, please. Thank you.
BB True Crime, I'm Beth.
I'm Becky.
Thank you for joining us.
Adios.